सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुगं गौडपादं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमतास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमतास्य पद्म पादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोडकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् मौनौ व्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वसिष्ठान्ते वसत् ऋषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः मानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यत्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावेव विजृम्भयत्यविमहायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यत्साक्षात्करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नानाचित्रघटोदरस्थितमहादीपप्रभाभास्वरम् ज्ञानं यस्य दुचक्षुरादिकरणद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तमनुभाति एतत् समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलां बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्तजटोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ता वृषंवादिनः मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहादीपमहाव्योमव्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये राहुग्रस्तदिवाकरेन्दुसदृशो माया समाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतः यो भूत्सुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये Sushuptyavastayam, at the time of sleep, when Karana Upasamharataha Puman, by the withdrawal of all the senses and the mind, Sushuptaha Puman, Prag Aswapsam iti Prabodha Samaye Pratyabhignayate. This is the main point there. The collection of the experience of sleep, where all senses, mind, everything is withdrawn completely. And the very recognition of the experience proves the existence of something positively there, even at the time of sleep, and it is not kshanikam va shunyam va. The example that is given is Rahu Grasta Divakara Indu Sadrsha. Rahuna Grasta Indu Tada Divakaraha. In the case of the eclipse, where the Rahu is said to have devoured the moon or the sun, his example is given here the same way all the senses and the mind and all the indriyas are all covered. And at that time, it is said, even that covering of the Rahu is also illumined by the same sun. Otherwise, all total eclipse, when you just look at it, obviously the example is very significant because the eclipse cannot happen completely, even though we say complete. The light of sun is still there to illumine this situation of eclipse. That is to say, definitely it is not that the eclipse is happening on the sun. Eclipse is happening as a shadow that makes us not able to see the sun. It is not the sun can ever be shadowed by anything else. Not even the moon. So it is a shadow of the earth falling on it. In the same way, Chaya Rupena Maya Atmanam na avrunoti. Purnam na avrunoti. Chaya matrameva Maya na purnam avrunoti. It is not possible for Maya to cover Atma because of the nature, as we saw here in the verse number 23, aprakashataya badi swaprakashataya apicha. Swaprakashataya, swaprakasha means its nature is Satchidananda Swarupatvat. Tat Satchidananda Swarupam na avrunoti. Aprakashataya, as the one unavailable for illuminating everything else, but not losing its nature of awareness. Therefore, the example is appropriate as much as Rahu also, the devouring Rahu also illumined by the same consciousness. Therefore, it is not absent. Just like that, sun is not absent while Rahu is apparently covering it. In the same way, Atma is not absent even though not available as a Vishesha Jnanam through buddhi, manaha, ataha, atava indriyahi. That is the point. And even as we are engaging in this world, during our waking and dream sleep state, a dream and deep sleep state, and all conditions, even while awake, when we are engaging in many activities, it is Atma Sakshi Rupataya Tishtati. That is what is said in the verse number following that, 23. Jatatma Nicha Deha distinguished. wished. Ishvara sakshat vivichyate. Ishvara is specially discriminated. Budhaihi, obviously. Jadatmani dehadau, in the deha, in sense organs, deha, etc., which are kshetram, jadatmakam, anityam, and in that very anitya jadatmaka dehe, chaitanyatmaka paramatma vivichyate. Vivichyate is being discriminated. Presently, they are not easily available for us to discriminate because of our identification with the body is so strong, where we have Dehatma Bhava is there and we are not able to, Deha ek hai or Atma ek aur, aisa, we are not able to. So therefore here it is given, Esha eva mohini nama maya shakti. This alone is the power. What is this power? That there is a apparent connection, relationship between Jada and Chetanam, which can never be, because they are totally. If there is a connection, there must be something common. But here, there is between Jada and Chetana, there is nothing common, nothing which is there found as a common nature. One is Jada, another is Chetanam, one is Nityam, another is Anityam. One is Abhyayam, another is Vyaya. One is Sharam, another is Aksharam. Yet, both are seen to be the power of Maya. Esha Mohini Maya Shakti. The reason why we are unable to distinguish, but Budhaihi Viveka Buddhya Vivichyate. So, Eva Etavada Jadatmani. Yeah. Jadatmani Dehendriyaman Vyapara Swapara Vyaparan Abhigneshu. By themselves, they are not able to engage in any of the activities, their own or Abhigneshu. Ears cannot by themselves hear. Without the help of the mind, it cannot do it. Without the help of consciousness, Para Vyapara Abhigneshu Jadeshu Yo Aham Adraksham Soham Tami Langayami Idi Sarva Avabhasakataya Atma Sakshadishvara Idi Vivichyate. I go, I walk, I think, not by the senses, not by the mind. Even though expresses through them, it is the Sakshi Paramatma alone is, in his presence alone happens. And that way, we are able to slow Sauparanasya Prana Loka Tamrada Bhavati. Etchakshusha na pashyati, enachakshumshi pashyati, tateva brahmatvam vitti, nedam viditam upasade. Ityadi Shruti Vakyehi. These is a Pramana Janita Jnaname Avashakam. This knowledge is necessary from what is available from the Shruti. And what makes us so much able to identify with this as though it is me? Deha aham, pranani praham. Ityadi. Prana is also me. Prana, prana. Indriyani aham, ityadi. How is that? So, Esha eva mohini nama maya shakti maheshituhu. Maheshituhu means Maheshasya. Of the Lord's Shuddhatvadi Lakshana Ishvara Swabhavatvam Atmanaha Yaya. It is being the nature of consciousness being superimposed on that, and the original nature of the self is Aroti. Yasyaha scha astamaye, only on the elimination of this Maya. So that is said in the next verse. Moha poha pramatrunam ityavidiyate. doshadibiranavilah. Pramatrunam mokshah maha moha apohah iti abhidhyate. Moha apohah mokshah. Moha eva moksha. For whom? Pramatrunam. Pramatra means here to be understood Shraddha Yuktanam. Praman में श्रद्धा होना चाहिए, क्योंकि this knowledge is not available in this world through logic. Therefore, pramana, Shabda pramana, Shuddhi pramanam is necessary for us to go in that direction, even start the sadhana. It is the Shruti that is going to help us overcome all our misapprehension. And one should not leave the Shraddha and Pramana until one reaches there. Not that once read, but as we go further, we find we ourselves start doubting it. What did I understand is doubtful. Shruti has a guidance from not just for the starters, but all the way up. The doubts become more and more subtle. As we see, as we one reads the Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, etc., discussion is becoming subtler and subtler. The questions that would arise in the mind of a sadhak also will become more and more refined. What is Atma and Atma? That is not the question now. What is the nature of Atman in the state of sleep where everything is seemed to be absent? Who is the experiencer there? So here, mokshya for whom? For those people who have moksha. And what kind of that nature of that self? Avastatraya vidirmukta doshadibihi. He the one that one which is experiences and also unpolluted, untarnished by all the doshas, indriya, prana, mana, buddhi, ityadi. Evam nitya shuddha yasyacha asmatstamaye bedaka abhavat vidyavatam samsara bandha nivrittihi maya shaktiya mohita bodhaha nairatmadvyat atma nairatmyavad vadam upagataha iti upasamharati. Yaya mayaya mohitaha bauddhaha. Directly Buddhas, and they cannot proceed on beyond that because they come to conclude जो सुषुप्ति में भी नहीं है, जो आत्मा नहीं है, शून्य है. Because there is nothing experienced in sleep and there is nobody to experience there. Therefore, the idea of Atman is only momentary or it is actually void. This is the way they conclude. But then to counter them alone, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, Rahu, devouring the sun and in the Sadushaha, Divakara in the Sadushaha Atma. Maya samachadana sushupti samaye Atma Divakara. Like that of the sun and the moon apparently covered by the Rahu, so is the Atman in the state of sleep being covered by tamas of the Maya. And what remains? Karana upasamharanatah. Karana upasamat na asmi iti bhavaha. I am not. Yata rahugrasta divakarasya bhasyatvam nasti. Na swayam bhadi eva. Objects it doesn't illuminate, but swayam bhadi. Because swarupatvat, swarlakshanatvat. So it shines, no doubt. It doesn't. And the proof is that it shines itself, not anything else. Itself shining, Atma Jyoti is pragaswapsam iti pratyabha. Recollecting that I slept well. And this therefore is beyond three states. And doshadibihi, deha, de avidyakrita doshadibihi, anabilaha. It is understood by the various imperfections, impurities of Maya's effects. So, continuing, how this Viveka is done, to be done by a sadhaka is mentioned here. Ishika iva sanmatraha nyagrodakanikoopamaha bahyat bahyadalonmuktaha katali niramsho nirvikarascha nirabhaso niranjanaha Prochate Parameshwaraha Ishika iva Ishnya ita manasya atmanaha swarupam avastatraya sakshitvad eva avastatraya varjitaha ekamavideyadibi anabil asambandhakrita dosha sakshi sambandhakrita dosha rahitaha asangatvad ityartaha asya atmanaha sada ekantabhyam ishika iti. The word ka is the small, what do you call that, as stalk, from the stalk of holy. So that ishika is the one which is like a small thread. No, ishika is, yeah, that is what it says here, as the given in the case of, in the ishika is the stalk of the tree, munja grass, not a tree, but another example is given, the seed of a banyan tree. This is kanika upama. Kanika is the seed, upama is equal to that nyagrodha. Nyagrodha means, oh, the nyak means nyaj shabda is to come down, hang down. The roots of the banyan tree seem to be coming down. The name of the banyan tree is Nyagrodha. So here, that kanika, that seed of the, very much not possible to even look at it, but yet its presence should be understood to take it out. And the same way as of the other. And another example is given, bahya kadali kanda sannibaha. Again, the pith of the moving many layers which are covering it. So these three examples are given of discrimination, methods of discrimination. So here ishika iti munchatruna punchanta shalaka ishika ityuchate. So, and asya shabdasya upayalingatvena pumstvena nirdesha. Ishika, both are same. That's why here ishika, the pumsa purlinga is used instead of strilinga. Tvam drishtantena aha bahyaditi ukta aparicheda arayati niramshaha. So, abhyatvam, it is available only within, meaning only upon removal of the varieties of layers. Everything is adhyasa with respect to standpoint of Atman. Deha is adhyasa, superimposition. Prana is pranamaya kosha is also an adhyasa. Anandamaya kosha abhi adhyasa. It is like the layers of a plantain tree. Go on removing. Then one more is there. Again remove, one more is there. But finally there is something is there, not like an onion. Huh? That's why he doesn't give onion example. Only find nothing is there. Instead you cry while doing that. But in the case of a plantain tree, definitely there is antah bhirtvam drishtantam. Shantenaha Ukta Drishtantavashadeva Sa Avayavatva Paricheda Vikaritva Disyat. So, if it limbs, as though all these are pranama, ityadi, all of them are amshas or the avayava. This way, the next verse said very clearly, niramshaha. And it is, all these are not its expression, nirvikara. These are all not belonging to Atman ever. Niramsha ityaha, niranjanaha, nirlepaha, kevalaha, upadi samsarga rahitaha. So, it is not a thing that is any kind of vikara, modifications, and nirabhasaha, meaning abhasa, nirabhasa means it never. So therefore, it is remaining ever as jneyam, all right, but not vasturupena na jneyam, vishayarupena na jneyam. It is not something like an object, it can be known, therefore nirabhasaha. Niranjanaha, it is having no impurity in itself. Purushaha. So first line is about Vyatireka, what it is not, and then the following line is Anvapurnaha. So it is that which is Purushness, it is by itself, and Parameshwar Prochade. In the seat of meditation, do the na manaha aham, na indriyani aham, na pranaha aham, na buddhihi aham, parantaham paramatma parameshwaraha purnaha vaha. Aham kevalaha purnaha paramatma. And this way, it is not a kind of conditioning your own thinking, but removal of all things that which make us feel as an individual entity, limited. And this kind of practice, we again and again reiterate and emphasize our true nature, is the method of avoiding the maya kritam illusion that is swabhavikam, which has come so natural to all of us. So that is why Atma sada jnananam jananam hridaye sannivishtaha tam swacharitra charitaj swacharvishe munjadiva ishikam dharyena with so much pravrhed, pull it out, munjadiva ishikam, from the munja grass. In the same way, swa sharirat pravrhed, from one's own body, one's own being, because hridaye sannivishtaha, that one is avoiding jananam hridaye sannivishtaha. Angushtamatra purusha. It is so small, like that example is given in Chandogya Upanishad. This way it is to be discriminated. Continuing here, he says, Vacho yatra nivartante manu eki bhavanti yatraiva bhutani bhuvanani cha. So it is said, continuing one more verse, samastani cha tattvani samudre sindavo yatha kashogattatra ko moha ekatvam anupashyatah. Yatra vachaha nivartante, Yatra manaha viliyate. Yatra where? Yatra here means yasmin atmani. Anubhave. Isatmanubhave. Yes, that yatra means in that very nature of realization of the self, vachaha nivartanti. There is nothing more to speak. Speech stops. When does speech usually stop? When we can't describe a thing. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschide. When someone looks at it with great wonder, jaw drops. A jaw-dropping experience. So what do you want to say? Nothing. So where there is nothing more to say, and nothing can be described. Jati, kula, kriya, guna, jati, guna, kriya, when there is no explanation with respect to its lineage or dissension, and then there is no explanation about its action, it being actionless. It cannot be explained having certain qualities because guna rahitaha. So when we are not able to describe only through, which we explain through the jati or cause and effect relationship or its qualities or its functions, but these explanations are not possible. Tasmat vachaha nivartante. Yatra manaha viliyate. Where the mind merges, meaning aham vritti, the thought of aham stems out from that aham. So aham vrittehe of the aham vritti, subject is usually external object. An object is our thought. The mind has a thought about an object which is external to itself. When it turns towards itself and tries, when the attempt to objectify the subject itself takes place, mind stops. And therefore here it is said, manaha viliyate. Mind is bhuvanani eki bhavanti. There is no more, one would find, samastani cha tattvani, all tattvas, samudre sindavo yatha. All the five elements can be taken. All of them, they merge, losing their differences, which makes the world. Sun is, water is not there, earth is not the fire is not there, air is not the space, ityadi. So all those tattvas, when they are independently functioning with their qualities, the world is prapancha. When they merge samudre sindavo yata, like that of the many, in due condition, kashogaha, where is sorrow? Ko moha, where is delusion? Ekatvam is the oneness. This is how it concludes this point here. Atmanaha sarva prapancha dharma vilakshana swabhavatvam iti uktam vishadayati. Vachaha iti yata cha shrutayaha yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasa. Coming back, returning along with them. Upasi ete sarvam ekam bhavanti. Where it is said in the this is from Brihadaranya Upanishad, that eki bhavanti yatra eva. All of them, sarvam eka upasita atra. Understand yourself to be the self. When that meditation takes place, that absorption takes place, then called manyness. That is from Brihadaranya Upanishad. Pare avyaye sarve eki bhavanti in the Mundaka Upanishad. In that pare, in that supreme, avyaye, imperishable, sarvam eki bhavanti. Yatasaiva prajnaye sarvani bhutani ekam tatvaya. So, sorry, Tad Vyakyasyamaha. That we will explain now. What ye sarvani bhutani ekam bhavanti. So, asya eva, of this alone, all of them become one. Kaupina Upanishad. Then the Kaupina Upanishad or Kaushika Upanishad. Okay. Pranaha ekada bhavanti, eva ekada bhavati. The pranas also settle down in that only. These are all various places. It's all quoted by the various. Ishavasya Upanishad also says, Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanatanu pashyatah. That is what is directly quoted in the verse itself. When Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmai eva abhut. Atmaiva abhut. When all have become one as its own self, then tatra ko moha kashokaha. Seeing that oneness, where is delusion, where is sorrow. So that is said from Shruti Mandaka Upanishad said, Yada natyasya nama rupe vihaya tada vidvan nama rupat vimuktaha parat param purusham upaiti divyam. Just like all these rivers, syandamanaha flowing down, samudre astam gacchanti, deve vihaya, losing their name and form. Tata, in the same way, vidwan, a man of wisdom, nama rupat vimuktaha, one who is free from name and form, not only of iti divyam, he reaches the divine nature of the Paramatma. So this way, Ishavasya, Mundaka Upanishad, Bhagavata Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, all of them have been given the all the three Upanishads. Shruti also maintains this point that its presence is there with the absence of everything else. That is the point here. Nitya only, they are subject to negation, and when they all merge, there is kapa. Then all the rivers are going. Where do they go and merge? And what happens? Even as they disappear, ocean doesn't disappear, because into that alone everything would merge. So continuing here, Vachaka rupatvat savikalpopi sannaham dehadinam yapohena sambhavet nirvikalpakam. Aham savikalpakaha, aham nirvikalpaha api. Sa vikalpa nirvikalpa. So first line says, Sa vikalpaha aham. I am Vachya vachaka rupatvat. Vachya vachaka rupatvat. Vachya means what is being spoken or described. That is the form, rupa. Vachaka is name. So, Vachya vachaka rupatvat, of the nature of name and form. Aham savikalpaha. I appear to be savikalpa. Dehadinam vyapohena, deha adinam. Deha, that is Stula, Sukshma, Karana Shariranam, Vyapohena, in their absence, Sambhavet Nirvikalpaka. Vikalpa Swarupa. Unmodified. So I appear to be with all modification while I am associated with Nam, identification with all the koshas. Me, the same one alone, will remain as Nirvikalpa. So Savikalpa Samadhi and Savikalpa Samadhi is preparation for Nirvikalpa. Understanding that they are, but total elimination of them in the total identification with the self without. That is what is referred as the state of Nirvikalpa. One more commentator I read, very interesting, he put this. Misapprehension and non-apprehension, there are two. Non-apprehension alone is the cause for misapprehension. If I have clear understanding of any, So non-apprehension, not knowing the reality, is the cause for misunderstanding. So he, understanding and non-understanding, both are present in the state of dream. Swapnavasthayam, at the state of dream, both are present. What both are present? Both misunderstanding myself to be something else. At the mind level, it takes place in dream. At the Vyavaharika level, it takes place in the wake. In the state of deep sleep, only non-apprehension takes place, not misapprehension. Because nobody misunderstands me in the sleep also. If I don't do anything, how will you misunderstand me? So I do not have any misunderstanding, misapprehension in the deep sleep state, but non-apprehension is there. Not knowing is there. Apprehension is gone. That's complete apprehension. So these are the 4 states which are to be understood. Non-apprehension in both waking and dream. That is the state of waking, which is otherwise known as, in the technical word, it is dream is known as Taijasa. And what is known as Prajna is deep sleep. Vishwa is waking. So the Vishwa, the Avarana and Vikshepa both are present. Only Avarana is there, Vikshepa is not there. And in the state of Turiya, 4th, there is no Avarana, no Vikshepa. Because these are all Maya's presence. Maya alone is acting as Avarana and Vikshepa. These are the 2 powers with which he. So in the removal of Avarana and Vikshepa, Adinam Vyapohena Sambhave, it's Savikal Vachaka Rupatvat, it is written. The explanation is the creation. We have to admit Ishvaraha eva upadana tata nimitta. Real cause as well as the efficient cause is Ishvaraha only. There's nobody else there. So being so, from the standpoint of the world which is considered to be real, Karana for the world as the Upadhi and Upadana Nimitta Karana, which is constantly subject. So it appears that Ishvara is also, whose Upadhis are Savikalpa, subject to change. Whereas in Nirvikalpa, when they are understood to be Mithya, from the standpoint of Brahman, from the standpoint of Jagat, Brahman is Ishvara. Of Brahman, Jagat itself is not there. Where's Krishna Ishvara? That state is where Dehadinam Vyapohena Sambhavet Nirvikalpakam. Without any modification, in pure presence. And that is what is referred as total. Many rivers having independent name and form, etc., coming to become merged into the one ocean, Eki Bhavanti. In the same way, all of them merge into one and which does not undergo any modification. We'll see more of it in the next session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaah, Sarve